Right now, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are sitting near all-time highs, but you're getting a little bit of a dip. I'm going to show you my top 3 stocks that I'm watching for the month of October going into November and ultimately into the end of the year, with I believe have the most overall room for upside when we look at the market. I'm going to be going over some large cap names, and then at the end of the video, if you want, you can skip ahead of that to the cheaper names as well in small caps. But the first and main thing I want to do is give you the major names that have the most potential. Then I'll also give you some cheaper names. And I don't want to keep you tagging along. I'm going to show you those names immediately and then show you my favorite one and what I believe is the best potential going into options as well. So let's jump right into it. The first one is going to be CrowdStrike. I believe this name is literally ready to pop. And again, I'm looking at higher timeframes on all these charts, and I'll give you my logical reason why, as well as the fundamental reason why as well. So number 1 is going to be CrowdStrike. Number 2 is a Broadcom, AVGO, which I believe is getting ready to run once again back $30, $20 of upside, going at least into the next 2-week time span of what I'm looking for there. So number 1, we got CrowdStrike. Number 2, we got AVGO. Number 3, we have Snowflake. And again, Snowflake is breaking out of a multi-year basically trend here. As you can see, resistance at 243, 245, getting over that. So again, another major breakout happening right now. You can see all these charts and what's really kind of carrying them all together as we speak. Another major name out there, I call it the lag 7, because you have one of your names that's always kind of lagging behind the mag 7, and the name is Amazon, as you're remounting back above your 50 MA right there, a major level. So again, these aren't just my top 3. I have a little consolidation winner in there as well. 4 top stocks we're really gonna be going into, breaking down exactly why. I'll also say I have some cheaper names like I mentioned that have a lot of potential as well. Let's dive right into this. But before we do that, I want to say right now, if you want to see what we're trading, how we're trading every single day, the Discord link is down below. You can tap in and see all the information. We start with futures, obviously here, which shows you the direction which the market's trading, a lot of our scalping, what goes in into all of that. If you want to see who we trade future with, the Tradeify link is down below as well. Use code JEFE for their 40% off. Then we go into our watch list every single day for the top stock picks, what we're looking for, trade plan directly there, direct entries on our options, and then the technicals for more of our scalps in and out of the day, giving you the most opportunities for setups to get in and out of as quick as possible. Keep you on your toes, get you those quick money that you want to make. Again, the profits are there as well. But let's get back to the video, get the links in the bio. Okay, now as we look at this, let's quickly start just going through the list. Now, the first thing I want to explain is indexes and where they're at. So for anyone out there that's panicking of okay, are we dipping? Are we panicking? Are we going to be dropping? Until the NASDAQ, until SPY make lower lows, there's no reason for me to go down that trail. And there's no reason for me to really panic. Okay, super clear, super easy to understand. QQQ, similar thing here. You're bouncing off previous highs. You're holding up. Buyers are showing up continually. Sellers continue to fail to push you down. These dips continue to be buying opportunities. Okay. Now, let's jump into those names. We'll start off with Amazon at number 1. Now, Amazon, I think, is a massive opportunity. And if I'm looking at this, I like more time on my contracts, but you're getting back above the 50 MA. Now, the really important part here is yesterday we tested the 50 MA. We dipped down, got back above 224 and shooting back up. If you can start holding this level, and it's funny, we have this level here around 227, but you get above 227, hold that, I believe you're working back into 233 and possibly breaking into all-time highs. It's one of the only Mag 7 names that hasn't broken back into its all-time highs. When I look at options, we'll go quickly and look at those as fast as possible, but you can see here as well. Now, I recommend if you want to capture an all-time high type of move, you need to get some time on your hands. The shortest dated I would go for an all-time high move is going for January of this coming year. So around 3 to 4 months, I believe it's about 100 days, 99 days till expiration. I would prefer more time, but this gives you a lot of wiggle room. The 240s are where I lean to, or even possibly the 250s. Those are obviously more risky, further out of the money. I like the 240s a little bit more, but would I be tracking there? If you want a shorter term trade, I would go for November 21st. These are very affordable. The 240s are what I like personally the most here. Around $7, it just fits my scheme, what I like to see. If you get the push up, I should make some money. So again, what I'm looking at there right now. Okay, the next stock is going to be CrowdStrike. Now, CrowdStrike in the short term is probably my most exciting name. And going back to PanW, if you guys remember, we talked a lot about PanW here on the channel. I was very bullish on the name. PanW, since it has run into all-time highs. CrowdStrike, PanW move very similar. Okay, CrowdStrike is, in my opinion, looking a little bit like a cup and handle here on higher time frames. You can see kind of cup, handle, trying to break out, okay? Now, you're going to pay more money on CrowdStrike, so I think there's just an inherent risk. We've already bounced a few times from 502, 503 into 510, which is awesome, but we need to get more continuation. When I go into the options, again, not a lot of people are going to probably want to trade these unless you're a seasoned trader, which again, it's one of my favorite names to trade. But again, the options are more expensive, dated. So I find myself scalping this throughout the day in hopes that I'll catch one of the big breakouts, you know, constantly trailing my stops, everything along those lines. But again, what I'd be looking for, the contracts do move really good. Giving you for example, right? This is next Friday, October 17th contracts. Looking at the quotes, look at how you're moving here on the day. This is just today. This is literally, you can see this is yesterday. So yesterday you bounced from $9.50 all the way to $14, back down to $9, back into $13. So it's constantly 50% swings on these contracts, worth mentioning. So again, it's a good thing to day trade. I'd be watching it. And if you get lucky enough to catch that big breakout, if you're going on shorter time, you'll print. CrowdStrike, in my opinion, should be in all-time highs, and if the market continues to run, I think it will easily get there. Okay, AVGO. Now, a lot of the names that I'm talking about, it's clear cut when you get in. It's clear cut where the trade develops. Okay, so AVGO. This is a trade we've been really waiting on in Discord, is the mount above 344.5 to 345. If you hold that, and you can see this really just developed recently, this level, okay? It's not a major level by any means. If you get above this, I think it's a straight shot into 351 and then 356. I'm a big fan of this right now. It's a really solid looking name. You got to get above that. What I will say is you look at some of the names that it follows. NVIDIA, all-time highs. TSM, broke all-time highs, trying to break into them again. So again, these names are already running. Semiconductors are already running. It looks really good. Again, semis kind of ready for another continuation here. You still look really solid. You know, again, I like NVIDIA, I like TSM, I like AMD, these other names, but again, I think this is just one that has more potential. And again, I think it's ready to heat up once again. Now, I think Snowflake is actually taking the cake. I'll be totally honest. Shout out to Donnie in Discord as well. He's really been hammering this home. But I think Snowflake is super interesting here. If we look back at names like a Datadog, for instance, a few of the other names, but when you finally get these breakouts, that's where you make your money. So the first time you broke out over 195, which again, this goes all the way back to 2022 when you initially crashed here on Snow. But you basically sat and rejected 195 to 200 for essentially 3 years here. And when you finally broke here, you shot up to 240, it was like a $40 move. And here you shot up to 230, 225, then dipped down, then re-shot back up. So the opportunities are there. But now you're breaking out over this area here as well, which I think is probably your biggest opportunity. Now, I don't have anything here on Snowflake until like 305, 310. Being more conservative, I would target like 275, see where you're at in your positions. But I think Snowflake has a lot of potential here. A lot of potential. And when we look at the contracts as well, again, this actually, compared to CrowdStrike and these other ones, which again, Snowflake's a little bit less volatile. I would, understand that. I would aim more towards something like January 16th because I want to capture a bigger move. You're paying a little bit more of a premium, worth mentioning here. Okay. But again, if you can stay above 245, 247, you look really good. Now, I also want to say, like some of you guys are like, well, these are expensive positions. I can't afford them, this and that. Look, at the end of the day, guys, cheaper names are cool. They're awesome. But I like to trade names that are consistently moving and, getting me wins in the winning column. Okay. That's not saying that cheaper names you can't win on, but these major names over time have paid us out more and are more predictable in the way that they're moving as far as price action is concerned. I want to let that be very clear. Now let's go into the cheaper names as well here. So I went over the 4 that we like a lot. Okay. The cheaper names, quickly going into these. Number 1, I made a video the other day going over AI names. If you don't believe me, go re-watch the video. If you do not believe me, go re-watch the video. Go to videos. This is the channel. You go down to, where was it at? The AI, the best AI stocks. Okay. I said it in that video at the very end. Tempest AI was the best one. Well, guess what, guys? You mounted your level here at $77, $79. You shot up to $100 now, and you're trying to break out. If you can hold above 100, you look really good, and you're just going to keep going. You're in price discovery. Worth mentioning, this is the one that Nancy Pelosi was buying as well. 200 SMA mount there. Beautiful chart, one of the best, if not the best AI name. It's pretty expensive. You had a nice run. Ideally, I'd like to see a pullback to get a buying opportunity near $90 to $91. That's what I'd be looking to buy. Now, this one has been all over social media recently. This has been all over every social media platform I've seen, but there's a reason why. Let's talk about what's going on here. Now, number one, you're just grinding to the downside. And if we get rid of everything here, I just want to show you just the chart. If you zoom out, this is the weekly time frame. You've basically been in this rectangle at lows from, again, 2022, similar to Snowflake, right? Or CRM as well. CRM is a great stock as well. We'll go into that in a second. But Snapchat, $11, $12, lows of around $7.50, $8. Now, I normally wouldn't care about a name like this, but where things get really, really, really interesting is on the daily time frame, okay? And so really quick, we'll come back, right? So just want to show you what's happening. Now, the chart, outside looking in, nothing's going on. But we put on the volume and look. Now, you see the occasional spike, don't get me wrong, but look more recently. There has been an unreal amount of buying, an unreal amount of incoming volume into Snapchat recently. At $8, $8.50, I think the risk to reward here, it just makes sense. If you also want to, you could go the option route, which I think this is an unnecessary risk you need to take. You can do whatever you want. If you want to make your money quicker, get out quicker, whatever. You can go into something like January 16th contracts, around 100 days to expiration. You can go at the money of $9. They're about $1 a contract. Go to $10 if you really want to. They're at 80 cents a contract. If you get any type of quick move into $9, $10, you'll make your money instantly, almost doubling it. I'm telling you right now, based on the option, if it happens within the next few weeks, okay? But Snapchat, the volume here is the thing that's speaking to me the most. Again, you haven't seen volume like this since a long time ago. I mean, consistent volume, you have not seen this in years on Snapchat. So it's very interesting. They also just added their new subscription plan as well. So worth mentioning, I'd be tracking this. One of the top names, one of the most interesting opportunities out there. And I think the risk is really low. You're risking like $1 of downside for like $4 of upside. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense as a trade. Another name out there we talked a lot about, Kava. Again, where did you bounce at? Your IPO highs way back here, $57 basically on the dot, $58 as you can see. So far you're bouncing, you're getting out of this area like we talked about, okay? You are breaking out. We went for January 16th contracts. These contracts are booming, okay? You're looking for $68 to $70 to start taking those profits, getting out of that. You still look good. HIMS had a big pop, kind of coming back down. Hopefully we get an entry at 52, 48, 44. Those are your entry levels. What I'd be watching there. Another one of the big opportunities I see out on the horizon right now is Rocket Mortgage. And you're probably going to see more downside here. But what you're looking for in Rocket Mortgage is a touch back into our support down here and our 200 SMA near $14, $15. I think that is a monster buying opportunity. Okay. Now, again, why? Why do I think this? So today, Fed Bar came out and said the FOMC should be cautious about adjusting policies so that we can gather further data, update forecasts, and better assess the balance of risk, talking about cutting rates. Now, I think we're still cutting rates going into the next meeting. But again, if you continue to see this type of viewpoint of caution, don't cut, inflation's bad and it's going to come back, well, again, you're going to see interest rates go back up. It's just what's going to happen. You need to understand that, at least in the short term. So that's what we're seeing here on the day with the yields going up and names like Rocket Mortgage coming down. I'm still very interested in Rocket Mortgage. I think it's going to be a buying opportunity, $14, $15. Be tracking this one very closely. Now, I'm very careful to talk about Open Door because it has become somewhat of a meme stock, okay? Now, where Open Door is interesting is in really two spots for me. If you continue to dip down, I like it at $5.90 roughly to $4 as a buying opportunity, and then ultimately 200 SMA, which is way down there. Now, if you break out above $10.90 to $11, I think this is a slap and it could go crazy. Reminds me a lot of what Zillow did, but now Zillow is definitely cooling off right back below your 200 SMA, which is not a good sign. Zillow looking to come back into $66 here. That should be your buying opportunity. So again, these are my biggest, these are my best names and what I'm really tracking. Again, the top four that I mentioned are all large caps, definitely more expensive to trade. The cheaper names I'm showing you as well. And again, these names will continue to start flooding into the channel, and I will show you more and more of these updates so you guys stay up to date at all points in time. I did didn't give you a chance and I didn't cover CRM. This is a larger name, but CRM for buying stock, like I was saying here, around 235 to 240 is just a massive opportunity. Again, I think this has upside into like 275. This should be in my top 4 stocks as well, to be totally honest. But again, you look really solid. You're grinding down your 50 MA. You break this could get volatile into 256, 260 in a hurry. One of the stronger names. Have time on this if you're going the options route, but I still think there's a lot of opportunity there, okay? Now, again, I want to highlight right now, I'm still looking at the market from a very bullish lens. What does that mean? I'm looking at this viewpoint of we're still making higher highs and higher lows on SPY, on QQQ, on the market in general. Very important to understand what's happening there, okay? So as long as we're making this trend and we're mounting previous highs, you look very strong. QQQ, very same thing. You look very strong. Anytime you are seeing a dip, you're seeing buyers step right back into the market. That is what you want to see if you're bullish here. IWM for those small caps, you're still breaking and retesting your previous highs here. This is a very good look. And if we can get a candle like this holding into tomorrow where we're out of this and finding support off this could be that flip that we were looking for of IWM. And remember, you have not had a break on IWM of this range going on for almost 4 to 5 years. So it's very important that we're understanding where we're at and how we're moving, because again, this could set up for a very big move. And again, I think there's been some confusion when I'm looking at IWM. I am not looking to long IWM. I'm looking to go long on the stocks within IWM. So very important that you know the difference, what we're looking at, why we're looking at it. If you have any questions, comment down below. I appreciate you. See you guys in the next video. Have a good one, traders.